Scientific comparisons. Utilitarianism and deontology. Utilitarianism and deontology are two distinct ethical theories that offer contrasting approaches to moral decision-making. Let's explore the comprehensive comparison between utilitarianism and deontology. Moral theory. Utilitarianism, proposed by thinkers like Jeremy Bentham and John Stuart Mill, is a consequentialist moral theory. It asserts that the rightness or wrongness of an action is determined by its consequences. The primary goal of utilitarianism is to maximize overall happiness or utility for the greatest number of people. Deontology, associated with philosophers like Immanuel Kant, is a non-consequentialist moral theory. It emphasizes the intrinsic nature of actions and adheres to moral rules and duties. Deontological ethics posits that certain actions are inherently right or wrong, regardless of their outcomes. Basis of morality. Utilitarianism. The foundation of morality in utilitarianism is the principle of utility, which evaluates actions based on the amount of happiness or pleasure they produce and the avoidance of pain or suffering. Deontology is grounded in the concept of moral duty and the idea of acting in accordance with universal moral principles, such as honesty, respect for others, and the preservation of human dignity. Ethical evaluation. Utilitarian ethics focus on the consequences of actions. An action is considered morally right if it promotes the greatest overall happiness or well-being, even if it requires sacrificing the happiness of a few for the greater good. Deontological ethics prioritize the intention behind an action and the adherence to moral rules. Actions are judged based on whether they conform to moral principles, irrespective of their outcomes. Moral dilemmas. In utilitarianism, when faced with moral dilemmas, one must consider the potential outcomes and choose the action that leads to the greatest net happiness for the affected individuals. In deontology, when confronted with moral dilemmas, individuals must follow moral rules and duties, regardless of the consequences, believing that certain actions are inherently right or wrong. Universality. Utilitarianism allows for situational flexibility, as the morality of an action is determined by its consequences and may vary depending on the circumstances. Deontological principles are seen as universal and applicable to all moral situations, as they derive from inherent human dignity and respect for rational beings. Criticisms. Utilitarianism. Critics argue that utilitarianism can lead to morally problematic decisions, such as sacrificing the well-being of a few for the greater good, potentially violating individual rights and justice. Deontology has been criticized for being rigid in its approach, potentially overlooking the consequences of actions and neglecting the overall happiness or well-being of individuals. Summary. Utilitarianism and deontology offer different perspectives on ethical decision-making. Utilitarianism emphasizes the consequences of actions, aiming to maximize overall happiness, while deontology prioritizes moral duties and universal principles, regardless of outcomes. Both theories have shaped ethical discussions and continue to be influential in moral philosophy. Enjoyed the video? Don't forget to subscribe, share with your friends, and hit the like button.